Most dogs rebel loudly when structure weakens. They bark, resist, pull, or challenge openly. Their instability becomes visible almost immediately. Rottweilers do something very different. They do not explode when alignment fades. They do not announce dissatisfaction. They do not stage emotional protests. Instead, they reorganize internally. Rebellion in other breeds often looks chaotic. It is emotional, reactive, and outwardly expressive. In a Rottweiler, instability looks calm. The silence hides the shift. When clarity weakens, a Rottweiler does not argue. It begins recalculating responsibility. It observes more closely. It measures what is no longer consistent. This recalculation begins quietly. Eye contact shortens slightly. The pause before action disappears. The dog starts resolving minor uncertainties alone. Obedience may remain intact during this phase. Commands are followed and routines are maintained. There is no visible defiance. Yet the internal decision loop has shifted. Most owners mistake this for maturity. The dog appears composed and confident. It seems less reactive and more stable. But composure is not always alignment. When other dogs rebel, they test limits. When Rottweilers shift, they test structure. They evaluate tone, timing, and consistency. And they adjust without spectacle. Instead of escalating outwardly, they narrow emotionally. Engagement becomes more selective. The warmth softens. The interaction becomes efficient rather than bonding. Spatial behavior changes next. The Rottweiler positions strategically instead of relationally. It stands where it can manage rather than where it can connect. The body language grows self-contained. This is not dominance in the theatrical sense. It is assumption of responsibility. The dog believes something must be stabilized. And it steps forward internally to do it. Rebellion seeks attention. Recalibration seeks control. A Rottweiler does not need to create chaos to assert itself. It simply becomes more decisive. Under pressure, this decisiveness becomes visible. The dog reacts without hesitation. It resolves tension before shared clarity forms. The reference to you fades. This is the quiet replacement of partnership. Shared resolution turns into solitary resolution. The Rottweiler stops waiting. It starts managing. To an untrained eye, this looks impressive. The dog seems strong, independent, even admirable. There is no dramatic conflict to correct. But something foundational has shifted. The absence of rebellion deceives many owners. They assume stability because there is no noise. They interpret silence as trust. They celebrate calm as loyalty. But Rottweilers do not rebel when structure weakens. They compensate. They reorganize hierarchy internally. And they do it without confrontation. Over time, that internal reorganization solidifies. The dog trusts its own judgment first. It consults less. It assumes more. The emotional distance deepens subtly. The gaze becomes evaluative rather than anchored. The pause before action vanishes entirely. The partnership becomes parallel. Parallel operation works in calm environments. But under true pressure, independence dominates. The Rottweiler acts according to its own assessment. It expects the world to adjust. This is why rebellion is easier to detect than recalibration. Noise demands attention. Silence conceals change. And Rottweilers specialize in silence. They're bred for controlled power. For measured response under stress. For decisive action without emotional display. Rebellion does not serve that design. Instead of protesting instability, they absorb it. Instead of challenging loudly, they reorganize quietly. Instead of escalating emotionally, they solidify structurally. And that structural shift is profound. When other dogs rebel, owners notice immediately. When Rottweilers shift, owners notice only when consequences appear. By then, the recalibration is complete. True alignment in this breed feels synchronized. The dog references you before resolving tension. It values shared steadiness. It waits for clarity. When that synchronization fades, rebellion never comes. Independence does. And independence in a guardian breed carries weight. Rottweilers do not rebel like other dogs. They assume responsibility. They resolve internally. And they rarely announce when they have done so.